What's going on, y'all? So we got one. We got one today. It's called Good Enough. I gotta be good enough. I gotta be good enough, right? So when we sit down and we say, man, I gotta be good enough. Somebody always say, man, you ain't good enough for me. All right, cool. I gotta be good enough for you. But that don't mean I'm not good enough. Somebody gonna love you, right? Somebody gonna come and say, he good enough for what I need him to do, what I need him to be. When can you be good enough for the person you love not to judge you on a negative scale? It's very hard. It's very, very hard because we live where we're trying to be good enough for the person we're with. But how come we're never good enough for them when we're with them, right? We try to walk around and we try to live our life the best way we know how. And we look at it and we say, I ain't doing nothing wrong anymore. Why am I always the person being penalized, right? Because the other person already opted out. People will always find a way to destroy you with the person they see you most happiest with. Why? Because it's not them. I remember sitting down and I used to like just have I remember I told my ex, I said, you're my best friend. You're my best friend. And she started crying. But when I told her she was my best friend, like I meant it from the bottom of my heart because I never had a person I could talk to and all is well at the end of the conversation. Nothing is ever easy. If it was easy, let me tell you something. We would all be doing it, right? I look at where I come from. I come from nothing. My fault. I come from nothing. I worked my way up to where I'm at right now. Where people can say, "Dang, dog, how did he how did he make it?" And that's what people always ask me, "Man, how did you make it? How do you make it? How do you make it?" I was a laughing stock. I kid you not. I was the laughing stock of all my friends as I got older. I was thinking, laugh. This boy got all these kids, man. How he gonna take care of all these kids? They never knew that deep down inside I felt worthless. And I'm gonna get to that in a second. They didn't know. They didn't know I was dealing with sadness, depression. They didn't know because they never asked. They never asked me like, "Hey man, you all right?" Nobody in my lifetime has ever asked me, "Are you all right?" I'm talking period. So I got made fun of. I had all these kids, different baby mamas, relationships going down the tube. It's bullshit, right? But because I kept a smile on my face, is why people looked at me the way they did. Like, yo, you walk around like nothing bothers me. It's not that nothing bothers me. It's not that nothing bothers me. It's just that sometimes you got to fight the battle when you can fight it. So what do you got to do now? You stand still. People gonna point their fingers at you. Okay. One thing you don't expect is to do the right thing and get penalized for it. You don't want to be that. To love someone means you love them unconditionally. You love them through good, you love them through bad, through sick, health, everything, right? You love them because they deserve to be loved by you. It was hard for me to love. I ain't gonna lie. After I got cheated on, it was hard for me to love. It was hard for me to trust. But it didn't mean I wasn't supposed to give myself a chance at happiness. There's moments where you look at life and you gotta say, I made it somehow. I always say by the grace of God, I ain't supposed to be here. I know I ain't supposed to be here. I don't always want to be the bigger person and pick up the phone and be like, forgive me for my shortcomings. Sometimes I want somebody to make me feel like they care enough to pick up the phone and say, I love you enough, but I just don't want you to do this. This made me look like this to people, which I don't care how people think about me. You know what I'm saying? But I do care how people would think about my woman. It becomes a moment where you have to say, when are you going to forgive me and tell me, look, I love you enough to make sure that we're good? When does that happen? It doesn't. Not often. I would never sit back and say, well, it is what it is. I ain't going to say that because that's not a logical answer to a person. You know what I'm saying? But do I want to feel like I'm good enough? Absolutely. I want to feel like I'm good enough. I want to feel like I'm better than what I ever was, which I am now. I want somebody to grab me and say, and just hug me sometimes and say, look, I love you and you've come a long way and we still got a long way to go, but we gonna get there together. That's the plan. I ain't gonna get that because pride stand in the way of people. I feel like I now gotta start from scratch. I don't want to do that, man. I don't want to start from scratch if I don't got to. But I also realize, like, what do I look like making somebody else happy and I'm gonna be miserable if they're not meeting me 100% of the way? I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. Now that I'm able, I have money and I'm able to move around. Like I move around. You know, my goals is different. My thing is like, love me because you love me. My thing is like I think my only problem I have is like I gotta when something happens, I gotta tell the person I'm with right then. Hey, this happened. In case something pops up, this is what happened. I just don't want there to be no miscommunication. Communication is definitely hard for me because I feel like I overthink. Like I'd rather tell you, I'd rather deal with the problem when it comes instead of blocking the problem before it comes. You know, and it's difficult for me to sit back and say, look how far I've come and do it alone. You don't want to do it alone. But what am I to do now? Cry? Be sad and depressed? Stomach in knots? Can't go through that every day. Wondering why? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Because I know I'm worth it. Some people just look at you and they feel like I wasted my time on this person. Did you really? Because little do you know that person that you think you wasted time on learned. Why you think you was able to get what you got? Why you think that person didn't hesitate to spend time with you, spend money on you, tell you that you're beautiful, they love you, all that? Why you think that person does that? Because they don't care? No, they care. But they also got to be the responsible person they were ready to be. You know? It's times I sit in my car by myself and I just go into a deep thought. I ain't worried about social media. I ain't worried about females, nothing. I'm worried about what's important. And me, I try to make everybody around me happy. And that's probably one of my biggest downfalls is that I don't say no enough. I always say yeah to everything. So like I just do things like I got a daughter finna graduate in a few days, and now it's like, oh, you gonna go to her graduation? She wants to have a group picture, and I just got stung up for taking pictures like that. You ain't doing that again. You gotta be crazy. Take a picture with me and my daughter. That's about it. But as far as like this whole family group thing, nah, I done got stung up on that before. I'm not doing that again. No, buddy. That come back. That's bad. And I feel like any woman that's with me, like if you're with me, I come with packages. But I tell you what, ain't nobody gonna ever be able to say that I was never there for my kids and I never did everything in my power to make them happy. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm at a point where like any real woman gonna understand that. Like, you know what? He ain't doing it to be malicious. He did it for the little kids, man. He did it for the ones his children. And I need to be a better woman and look at him and say, you know what? He came a long way. Because before, I would always walk on eggshells. I want to do that, man. Ah, man, it's all right to be in love. It's okay to have a good heart. It's okay to love the woman you love. Okay to love the man you love. That's cool. But you gotta love you too. So now that I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm about to go out of town. So now I'm happy. Normally I'd be like, yo, babe, you wanna go over here? But I'm not picking up the phone anymore. I'm not calling anybody to try to make it right no more. Because I feel like it's my turn for somebody to show me that they give two damns about me and pick up the phone and say, you know what? I love you. I care for you. I know you were this and that, but I know what you tried to do, but that was wrong. Now let me show you what it is. Man, you get that in your life? You get that type of woman? Oh man, there ain't nothing she can't ask for. There ain't nothing she can't ask for. I just don't want to argue anymore. I've reached the point where arguing in my life is not gonna go together. I want to smile. I want to laugh. I want to be with the person that does all these things. Like I'm not out here. Like I could be out here easy running behind hoes and just having a bunch of different women. But for what? For what? What is that going to bring me? Nothing. I tell my homegirls all the time. You can run around and grab you a new dude and get to know somebody new you think you gonna know them, and then they gonna show you their real colors after a minute. I don't got time for that, man. But I will say this: the longer a person is alone, the easier the pain subsides, and then they can move forward. Because the longer I sit here and I'm by myself, I start thinking more, and then I'm just like, okay, so to you, I wasn't worth the phone call. To you, I wasn't worth. Let me speak to you. To you, I wasn't worth. I just want to fix things. To you, that's how I feel. So the longer you stay by yourself, the easier the pain is. And then you finally say, you know what, somebody deserves the love that I have to give. So let me, now I can give it to somebody else. I'm not at that point yet. But when I get there, that's it. I wouldn't care if I seen a person out with somebody new. I'm gonna act like I don't know him. Walk right by him. Because I feel like that's how I'm gonna keep my sanity. I think a lot of people believe that sex is the key to every relationship, and it's not. And I believe that when you're a father and you got a co-parent with your baby moms, and this is for women too. Some women don't co-parent because they're the main source of the who the kid lives with. But when it comes to a man is like, yo, I'm trying to keep the peace. Like me, I don't care about no child support. I pay that. That ain't nothing. But when you keep the peace with, like, and your kids can see, hey, my parents are cool with each other. That's what. If the parents are cool, then the girlfriend that's supposed to be there for longevity, she need to be cool with it and be cool with the mom and things of that nature. Because what if I need you to pick the kids up? Hey, I need you to get the kids from school. They're gonna stay the weekend with us. Why don't you go ahead and grab them for me? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be that. It's gotta be that. So when it's not that, we run into obstacles. We gotta stop running into obstacles. Respect is a two-way street. You ever see somebody, they just see something and then they just go from there? Okay. You ain't gonna let me explain what happened? No? Okay. That's me. I love the fact that I'm able to love the same person for life. But what I can't do is make that person trust me for life. Trust me that I know not to do nothing wrong to jeopardize us. That's it. It ain't rocket science after that. Trust me enough to know I'm not gonna do nothing that's gonna jeopardize us being happy long term so we can live our life as husband and wife. That's it. So you gotta trust me to do the right thing. I don't care who comes around. I don't care. I'm not my eyes. If I'm with you, my eyes are only for you. My heart is only with you. Anything else, you gotta trust in me enough to know that I know what I'm doing and I'm not gonna do anything to embarrass you, because embarrassing you means I'm embarrassing me. I'm a good man. I can cry. I can I can punch holes in the wall. Is that gonna solve anything for me? No. Because at the end of the day, I need you to trust me enough to say, you know what? Let me see what he gonna do. Let me let him handle it. Let me let him be the man that I know he is. Women all the time say, I want a good man. I want a man that's gonna do this. I want a man that's gonna do that. Well, when he's trying to do the things that you say you want, then stop roadblocking. Be his better half. Be his support system. Be his best friend. Be the person that he can come to and say, babe, this is what happened. Well, babe, why you didn't tell me sooner? Honestly, I didn't even think about it. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind. That's how non important it was to me. But you gotta look at it. Gotta always say, let me give him a chance to be great. Let me watch his greatness develop. Because if not, all you have is a man that's going to just be there. He loves you. He'll do whatever for you. Hug you, rub your head, rub your feet, hold you while y'all sleep. That's the man right there. Because while he holding you when you sleep, that's what he thinking. How can I make her even more happier the next day? See, other people out there in the world, they looking for evidence to break y'all apart. When it was whatever it is was probably innocent. So if you love your man or you love your woman, pick up the phone and call your man and say, let me talk to you. Put your pride to the side sometimes, ladies, and say, let me talk to you. And you be surprised that man thinking about you as much as you thinking about him. His life.